Hey friends, so I am going to teach you today about expanding your network, okay? And one thing I want you to know from the very beginning is everybody can learn how to expand their network. Decent sized friends list on Facebook when I got started with Plexus, but there came a point where I had pretty much reached out to everybody on my friends list, and I had to learn how to expand my network. So that's what I'm going to talk to you about today. These are all skills that you can learn and master, and this is not the only way to do it. Most likely, what will happen as you're listening to this is I'll say something you'll think, oh, wow, I have an idea. I could do this. I could do this. I could do this. So let me get into this presentation and we will start talking about some common misconceptions. Number one, regarding adding to your network. All right, a common misconception is that it's slimy or salesy or obnoxious to add to your network. That's just wrong. And here's why I say that. The way that I work my Plexus business and the way that I hope you guys understand it is that people who are connected to me on Facebook will have value added to them. I make it a goal that every time I post, I am adding value instead of subtracting value. So if I add someone to my network, if I'm adding to them to my friends list and they come to my page, they are going to have value added to them. So this is not just a thing where I'm adding people to my network so that I can take from them. If I were doing that, it would be spammy and salesy. But regardless of if they ever buy from me or not, my goal is that if they are connected with me, that being connected with me will add value to them. A lot of times they add a lot more value to me than I add to them. And not because I'm not trying to add value, but just because you get connected with people that are incredible. I've connected with a lot of you guys that will, some of you will send me messages saying you're praying for me. And I mean, I know that you say I've added value to you too, but I feel like as you're, adding friends and adding to your network, that's something to keep in mind that you're doing this as a human being. You're doing this as a good human being and being connected to you. If you're being a good human being, is going to be good for people. So it's not going to be a problem for them. Another common misconception is that you have to be having these in-depth conversations with people for it to count as adding to your network. And I'll tell you, a lot of the things on Facebook, it is kind of surface level because it's a surface level application. There are some times when you'll go in the DMs and have real, in-depth conversations with people, but a lot of the time it's really surface level. And that's okay. That's normal. That's what people expect on social media in a lot of cases, okay? So, we're going to talk about the ABCs of prospecting really quick. As I said, you want to add value. You need to be a listener and create connections. Pretty simple to say, not always as simple to do. Some of the ways you can create connections is by adding value or by finding things you have in common and talking about those things, or by asking people for advice. Pretty much adding value and creating connections kind of go together, but they're all tied together by listening and being others focused, not you focused. There are two ways to add to your network. These are really the only two ways to add to your network, either in person or online. I've done a lot of my adding online, but I've done a lot in person too. So we're going to talk about both of these things. And at different points in your journey, you will probably use different ways to do this, and there's different things that you can do with each one, and there's different ways that are better or not as good for certain seasons in your business. We'll talk about that in a minute. So, expanding your network in person, we're going to talk about first. Meet people as you go about your regular day. Don't be in the grocery store on this the whole time. Look up and see who you can talk to. When you're out shopping, look for people to talk to. When you go out to eat, again, look for people to talk to. All of these things here, be looking for people to connect with. Now, you might say, well, I'm an introvert. I don't connect well with people. That's okay. You can learn. I'm an extrovert. I connect great with people. Well, I talk to people great. Does that mean I'm listening well? Not really. I'm an extrovert. We don't naturally listen well because we're talking or thinking about what we're going to say next when people are talking. So I had to learn how to listen and how to connect. Okay? So you can learn to ask good questions. Some people, if you know some people in your business, in your company, in your team that are good at connecting with people, ask some of the questions that they ask people. One question that's really good that Brittany Howard recommends is, "What do you do? How long have you been doing it? How long have you lived here? What do you like about living here? What do you not like about living here? What do you like about what you do? What do you not like about what you do? Um, do you come here often?" There's anyway. But if you're at Starbucks, what drink did you get? What drink do you like? I'll tell you, I've talked to plenty of people sitting in line at Starbucks. And what I do, another misconception that we didn't really go over is that when you connect with somebody new, especially out in person, it's like we got to ask them about Plexus. That's not what I do. Some people do that. That's not what I do. When I meet somebody in person, I try to there's a fly, sorry, there's a bug, I'm trying to kill it. When I meet somebody in person, I try to get to know them. I try to learn about them, to ask questions, and come up with some point of connection that helps them feel connected to me, or some way that I can ask to get them on social media. It could be as simple as, "You know what? I really enjoyed talking with you. Do you have Facebook? Maybe we could connect before the next time I'm coming to Starbucks and get together." Or, you mentioned that you have a 9-year-old too, or you have a special needs kid too, or you have a little kid that likes to play at the park too. Why don't you are you on social media? We can connect and then I can let you know. Maybe we can plan a time to go together. Just something simple like that. I've done things like, "Oh my goodness, I love your shoes. Where did you get them? Oh, you got them on Amazon. Hey, can you add me on social media? And then later, when you have a chance, just shoot me that link because I want to find those shoes." Like, it doesn't really matter. Find something. When you're meeting new people, a lot of times in Starbucks, I've met new people that are in Starbucks and people new to the community. So I've asked them if they're in the local community pages. If they're not, I say, "Hey, add me on Facebook," and then I will add you to our community page so you can get tips for doctors and hairstylists and all that. Or add me on Facebook. And then when you're looking for somebody and you need advice for a groomer or a beautician or a dentist or a doctor, then just message me and I'll share some tips because you'll need those things and you're probably not even thinking about them right now, but you can message me when you do and I'll share. So think about ways to connect with them. And guess what? The more you talk, the more you connect, the more you ask questions, the more things will pop up that tie you two together or give you a chance to add them on social media, add them on Facebook, add them on Instagram, and reach out to them later and connect with them. And that's when they start seeing my posts. I don't usually even mention Plexus first thing. I usually build a relationship a little bit first. Okay. So those are some places you can meet people on the screen there. Expanding your network in person, purposefully get involved. Some of you are just chilling at home and have not joined any new groups in a long time. Now, if you have kids, a lot of times kids will force you to join new groups, like if they want to join new sports or whatever. But some of you guys that are watching this are older, empty nesters, and you're just chilling and you need to join some new groups. So when you have opportunities, find a group. If you can't find a group, create a group. I just gave somebody a tip the other day to make a walking group in their neighborhood because you've got to make open doors. You've got to find ways to open doors to meet new people. So here are some ideas. Do not say no to field trips. If you are a stay-at-home mom and you can go on a field trip, I don't care if you're going to a place that you hate. This is not popular. Don't tell Kristen Ramey if she's not watching this. I don't like going to the zoo. Finley hates the zoo. But I went to the zoo last year because I knew that there'd be other moms there and there'd be teachers there and there'd be TAs there, teachers' assistants. So I went to the zoo. I go volunteer at school things. Do I always want to? No. Do I do it as much as I can? Yes, because you want to meet new people. And when you meet new people at these things, guess what? Go friend them on Facebook. You can probably find them. If you are volunteering at a school thing, you can probably find them on your child's school website. If you're too old to have children, well, I mean, if you have children, but they're too old to be having things, then join groups at church, start a Bible study, join a new Bible study, join a networking group, join a meetup group, do a vendor fair, start a walking group, go play bingo at bingo night. I don't care. I went to a Republican women convention meeting or something the other day because I was like, I'm going to meet some new people, and I have some political beliefs, so which I don't share on Facebook because that causes conflict. But I just found some group of like-minded people, and we, got to know each other, and I added a few people that I met there. So try different things. Take initiative, go do it. Don't wait for groups to invite you. Go find a group to join and get to know new people. And if you join the group and you hate it, go find the new group. It's not a big deal. All right, now we're going to talk about expanding your network online. Look for people that you already know. If you are new and getting started with Plexus, this is my biggest tip. You already know people. I guarantee you know more people than you are actually connected to on Facebook. So start with that. Okay, scenario 1. This is creepy. Going to your friends list and just adding all of their friends. That's creepy. That's spammy. That's salesy. That might get you kicked off Facebook or at least blacklisted by your friends. However, you can go to your friends' lists and look at, go to a family member's list, go to your mom's list, go to your aunt's list. That relative you have that is the life of every party or plans all the reunions, go to their Facebook page, look through their friends list, and add people you already know. That's not creepy. That's normal. That's what people do. Okay. High school friends. Who was the prom king or queen? I don't even remember that at this point. Who was class president? Who was the one that everybody loved? Go to their pages. Look through their friends and be like, oh, I went to school with you. I went to school with you. My sister went to school with you. I kind of remember you. Go add acquaintances. Look at your church friends. Same. A lot of people are friends with your pastor or your minister. Go look at their page. Again, do not add random people that you do not know at this point. That's obnoxious if you just go down people's friend lists and start adding random people. But look for people you already know. Now, when I say you already know, does that mean you have to have had a personal conversation with them? No. If you went to high school with them and are acquainted with them, you can add them. That's okay. College friends, same thing. Groups you were in, you can go to high school groups, you can go to college groups, you can go to sporting groups, you can go to kids sporting groups, there are groups for everything on Facebook. Go look for some of those groups. Go look for the people in that group. Go join the group. Go add people you already know. Y'all got that? Okay, great. Then check out members lists in your college, elementary through high school, church, sporting groups, kids schools, sports groups, etc., shopping groups, etc. When you add people you already know, you can friend request them and send them a message saying something like, hey, Susie, I'm so excited I found you on here. How have you been? Okay, if you're not excited to find them, don't message them. Like if there was somebody you hated in high school, don't add them. You don't really want to sell them things. So if you add somebody, if you don't feel so excited, if you just feel a little excited, just say, hey, it's cool to find you on here. How have you been? That way, it's not creepy. You start the engagement algorithm and all is good, okay? How to use groups to meet new people and what not to do. Okay, this is a really big thing. How to use groups to meet new people. When I first started with Plexus, I thought the goal was to go to my groups. Now, these are non-Plexus groups. These are groups like Women of Fuquay Varina, Women of Holly Springs, the Ladies of Holly Springs. We had both because some didn't think that the others deserved to be called women or ladies or whatever. I don't know. It was a thing. But your garage sale groups, your dog lovers groups, your running groups, your whatever. I thought the point was to go into those groups and try to tell people about Plexus. So I would watch, and if they asked a question, I'd be like, oh, Plexus, Plexus, Plexus. It's not a good idea. That's not the way you do it. So don't do that. Here's what I do when I try to meet new people in groups online. First of all, you want to pick a group that you can engage in. And I'm trying to think of the right word, that you can strategically engage in and make value added posts. So I would not join a group for people who love to make fondant. Fondant? Fondant? I would not join a group for people who love to cook meat. I don't really like to cook meat. I only like to eat certain meat. I would also not join a group for people who hate coffee. I wouldn't have anything valuable to add to that group. Okay. You want to join groups that are meaningful to you, that fit into what you like in your life, your hobbies, your interests, your values, your, your whatevers. There's a group that's like literally people making fun of other people. Couldn't join that one. I would just be stressed all the time because I like people to get along. Find a group that's positive. So you wouldn't want to join that one anyway. Find a group that's positive and that fits your hobbies and your interests. And then make meaningful was the word I wanted. Make meaningful contributions to the group. So post things in the group, respond to comments or posts in the group, engage in the group. Plan at least 1, maybe 2 days of the week that you go to this group and you make meaningful comments and you engage in a meaningful way. Not just, oh, yay, oh, pretty, that's great, but oh, wow, I love how she, let's say you're in a ladies of, this community group. So somebody asks for doctor advice, go in and offer advice about a doctor. Don't bash a doctor because that's negative, but something positive like, oh, I go to this one and I love them. Or somebody asks for advice about painting their walls, or a painter. Oh, I use so-and-so. Or I don't know who to use, but I just did my house in this color and it was an amazing color and it looks great. Make sure you don't get flat because that looks bad. Something like that, just something meaningful, an actual comment that a real person, not a robot, would put. Something that can't be said with an emoji. Okay, comment that can't be said with an emoji. So engage, and then when you actually post original posts, and when people answer, send them a friend request and follow up with additional questions about their answer. So like when I would post in a community group, one time I posted about a Bible study group, a book for my Bible study group, and people would comment and answer. And so I would message them, and I might say sending a PM. And so I'd message, okay, so here's what I'm looking for. Do you have to watch the video, or would you be okay if you don't watch the video? Just have an extra conversation. But typically, if you respond to their comment on your post, and then you send them a friend request, and then you send them a message that makes sense with another question, they will accept your friend request. I don't mention Plexus at that point. I probably don't mention Plexus for another couple of months. I just engage with them, I get to know them, and at some point I mention Plexus. If they come around on my birthday list, then maybe I mention Plexus then, or I add them to my drip list and then message them at an appropriate point in the future. Okay. So just like meeting people in person, I add them to my network, but I build a relationship with them for a while before I actually ask them about Plexus. What you don't do is go spam Plexus in the group. If it's a direct question that can be answered with Plexus, you can say, hey, you know what? I have a probiotic that really helped me. I was suffering with that, but I found a probiotic that helped. Just leave it at that. Don't offer information. Wait for them to ask you for it. Works much better when people think it's their idea and they want something from you. All right. So when you're using groups to find new people, I talked about this. Post some meaningful content. Most groups, it's appropriate to post something funny. Look at the people that are reacting to your posts when you post something funny. I don't think you want people with no sense of humor. I don't think people with no personality can handle network marketing. You want people that can laugh at something funny. And you want people that find things funny that you do. So, you might want to friend some of the people that like the things that you like. You want to post valuable things. If you have something valuable to add that like once a week or every 2 weeks, because you want to be seen as somebody who has valuable info and is, a leader and is influential. You can ask questions. People love to answer questions. Just don't ask a question that sounds stupid or that you don't really want the answer to. Like, if you're sensitive about your parenting, or if you're sensitive about your weight, or you're sensitive about something, don't ask people about it because you probably won't like what they say and then you'll get offended and be cranky. Okay. So that's one of the things you can do. Another thing when you're in a group is look for the people with these badges. Facebook puts little badges sometimes next to people's names. These badges will tell you who are the most engaging on social media. And you want people that are engaging on social media. You don't want people that never post. So if you're going to be adding new friends, you want to add new friends that are engaged on social media. And these little badges will tell you who those people are. Okay, mentioned this. I'm just going to go over it one more time though. When you make a post, when you make that funny post, or when you ask a question and they answer it, react and reply to their comment, send them a friend request, ask a follow-up question, and get that conversation going. Don't talk about Plexus, just talk about life. All right, now, how to find new friends online, not in groups, just in general, okay? One thing that you can go do is go to the people you may know. And you'll see I have a little, that's what it looks like. It's in a few different places, depending on if you're on your phone or on your computer or on whatever. But there is a people you may know spot. I think you can even type in the search engine of Plexus, people you may know. And then you go through and you look. These are the ones to accept. These are the ones to request. You just click that little add friend button. People you have a lot of friends in common with. If you have 20 friends in common with somebody, they're probably going to accept your request, even if you don't know them. But if you have 20 friends in common with them, you could try to know them. Realtors will almost always answer your friend request. Realtors like to have lots of friends. When you add someone from a new network, you will get more people you may know recommendations. So like, let's say that I go to the park in a different part of my town when I used to live in Raleigh, and there are parks all over the triangle. Let's say I go to a park in the northwest part of town and I live in the southeast part of town. Like that. Okay. And I meet a lady there. If I add that person to my friends list, if I add that person as a friend on Facebook, all of a sudden I'm going to get more people you may know recommendations. So if your people you may know is really stale and it's all the same over and over again, and you're like done with these people and you don't know them, you don't want to add them, add some new friends. Go to a vendor fair. If you add, even if you don't end up signing people at a vendor fair, if you add new friends from the vendor fair, you're going to get more people you may know recommendations from that area. I did this I did a vendor fair in a different little small community about 30, 45 minutes away from mine when I was in North Carolina. Got all kinds of new friend suggestions from that. So again, I don't usually message these people. If they accept, I just put them on my list to engage with them, see if I like them. Now, a lot of times when you go to the people you may know, like Bonnie Bickford there, I might click on Bonnie and look at her and be like, okay, Bonnie posts a lot of inspirational posts, or Bonnie's a special needs mom, or Bonnie posts recipes, or Bonnie yada yada. I look and see if I want to be friends with Bonnie, if I'd like Bonnie, if I want to engage with Bonnie. If I don't want to engage with Bonnie, or Bonnie doesn't post anything for the past like 6 months, I'm not going to friend request Bonnie. If Bonnie's really negative, or me personally, if Bonnie's using curse words, not going to friend request Bonnie. Because I'm only going to be adding friends that I actually want to try to get to know. So in that case, depending on how you want to do it, you could message the person a message like, hey, you popped up in my people you may know, and I thought, wow, she posts some really great inspirational posts. I'd like to be connected with her. So hope you don't mind, sent you a friend request. You could say that. I've had some people pop up that have special needs kiddos. I got a daughter with autism and a son with ADHD. They're very interesting. So I might friend request somebody, say, hey, Facebook suggested you as a person I might know. And I noticed that you also have a little girl with autism. Us autism mamas need all the help and support we can get. So I thought it would be fun to be friends. How are you? Something like that. Just, a little message. You can message them. I don't always message them. Sometimes I just friend request them and then start engaging with them. If you're an introvert, that may sound weird and creepy, but You got to do some things outside your comfort zone to be able to grow in ways that you've never grown before. And all these things get better once you do them, because you do them and you realize you didn't die. Ask Kristen Ramey. She knows. All right, let's see what's next. Other ideas. Vicky actually came up with this one, and then I was jealous because she was adding all these new friends, and we had a little friendly competition, and I started looking for people. If you have a unique maiden name, doesn't work quite as well if your maiden name is like Jones or Adam or something. Married name or maiden name. Search for people with your name. Garen, a little bit different name. So I searched for Garens. I actually had several customers over the years that are Garens that I don't actually think I'm related to anywhere close, because Vicky added a bunch of Flinikins or Skinners. I think Flinikins. And then I added a bunch of Garens. Interestingly enough, I found a lot of special needs people in the Garen family tree, and I do think there's a genetic component, and so that was interesting. But search for business vendors you need. I know Brooke does this, Brooke Hemingway, so this is great, but I've done this too. Let's say you need a photographer. Go post in a community page that you need a photographer. When the 400 people respond to you, because they will, go look at their page, go see if there's somebody you'd want to be acquainted with, friend request them, and then send them some questions. Ask them to give you a quote. Ask them about how they do their photography. Same thing with painters, house cleaners, any kind of vendor. I mean, why not go find a new one? Why not find, unless you have one that you've had forever and ever and ever, but when you move to a new area or you need a new kind of vendor, go ask in a local community group, connect with all the people that respond to you, and then ask them questions. That's a legitimate way to build some new relationships. And later down the road, they may see your posts and want Plexus. Okay. One other thing that you can do, ask your family member first, or make sure they're okay with this, but tag a family member in a post. Because like if I tag my dad in a post, sometimes people who know him will comment on his grandchildren, and I'll be like, oh, that was his secretary. I met her once. Go friend. A lot of times when you tag a spouse or a family member in a post, somebody will pop up and like it or comment on it that you'll realize you can add as a friend. Then you've got a new friend. Lots and lots of ways to add new friends. The biggest thing that I tell people is go through your life. Think through your life. Start with where you were born, then where you went to elementary school and middle school and high school and college, and where you went after college, and think about all the jobs you've had, and look for people that you knew or people in groups from all of those different areas and find them, add them. It's like a treasure hunt. If you want to make it super fun, find a friend, find a downline, talk through it together, and then have a contest to see who can find the most new friends, people you know, first, or in a certain amount of time. Like give yourselves a week and try to find as many new friends as you can. And that was an old slideshow, so ignore that. But you could come to this call tonight or every Monday night on this Zoom number, typically at 8:45, except the third Monday of the month, we do at 8:30. And we will teach you more things about posting and more things about recruiting, retaining, duplication, and leadership to help you be an amazing Plexus ambassador. Hope this helps. Please reach out and ask me if you have any questions.